Welcome to Force for Growth Live.
Yay!
I love Good morning.
Good
Look at that
morning.
pumpkin, man.
Yeah. What would they say? Happy day 12 of Halloween.
Happy day 12th of Halloween. That is
Yes.
so cool. Tell us a little bit about that. For those of you listening, Michelle carved a pumpkin, which looks like it's hand carved to match our logo, and she's got a real candle in it.
It is hand carved. It was not exactly easy, but I was really excited about it. Leslie,
doesn't
my
look-
daughter, and I carved pumpkins last night, and I decided to do a Force for Growth pumpkin.
That is so cool.
It is awesome. Yeah, that is amazing. Well,
So, what
happy
is your
Monday,
experience
guys.
with carving pumpkins?
My experience with carving pumpkins is very small. Leslie and I did pumpkins a couple of years ago, but otherwise it's been a while because my kids are all grown. But I printed off the logo and then taped it onto the pumpkin and used an X-Acto knife to trace the logo and then used a pumpkin carving kit to carve it out.
I agree with Jesse. That is
Yeah.
so cool.
Thanks.
Exclamation!
I was so
exclamation.
excited to share it.
How long did it take you to get done?
A few hours.
Yeah.
It
It
took
looks
a while.
amazing.
It gave me a huge appreciation for those intricate, detailed jack-o'-lanterns that people carve. I'm like, how on earth with all the tiny little details? Yeah. This took a little while.
Big shout out to Mike Holmes, watching you from school during break from in service. Thank you.
Hi,
for tuning in,
Dad.
Mike.
That's my
Oh,
dad.
Oh,
The
oh,
drummer.
morning, Dad.
hi, Dad.
Yeah. We're always keeping that word alive in your house.
We are.
Yes.
We
Yeah.
are. We'll try not to get Michelle in trouble and get
Yeah.
her grounded.
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah.
Leslie, it looks so good. It really does, Leslie. Good
Yeah.
job. Oh,
Yeah.
man. So today is Monday, which is what, guys?
Our word of the week.
All
Yes.
right.
Yes. Okay. So I want to tell you about that. So we select our word of the week each Monday on our 6 a.m. calls, and we pull a Do 52 stick that is stamped with a verb. Do 52 is a simple but powerful toolkit designed by House of Shine to prompt us weekly to do things mindfully and open ourselves up to new ideas. So our word of the week this week is experience.
Boom.
Yes. Good word.
Yes.
Good word. It was interesting this morning on our 6 a.m. call because there's very little to the definition of experience. But for the verb, since that's what we're focusing on dictionary.com, it says encounter or undergo like an event or occurrence, and then feel an emotion. But Tamara chimed in and gave us a really great definition that really sparked kind of a more discussion. And that was to observe certain events, undergo a certain feeling or process, or perform certain actions that may alter one or contribute to one's knowledge, opinions, or skills. So, what does that conjure up for you guys for experience?
Don't rush the experience. Don't
Yeah.
rush it.
There's a destiny behind it. Like there's a divine reason you're going through that experience, whether it's good or bad. So there's no harm in just laying more into the moment ever, just really.
What
feel it.
occurred to me was like when I started thinking about the word experience and the podcast, and we're having a really great month with views and shares and downloads and everything, which we're going to announce the winner here later today, here in a second, or here in a little bit. But it occurred to me how many people I see jumping in on the podcast bandwagon and then giving up because they're not getting downloads or they're not getting shares or they're not getting this and that. And I really appreciate you guys, Courtney and Michelle, for just enjoying the experience.
Yes.
Right? We just enjoy the experience of doing it. We just enjoy the experience of being here. We enjoy the experience of getting into our groove, like Michelle likes to say. And I think that's part of what brings success in this area is enjoying the experience and not worrying about downloads and shares and views and this and that. And we're just enjoying the time that we get to spend together and the messages that we get to share. And I think that's part of this microwave society nowadays, where we're just like rush, and
Yeah.
breathe it in, enjoy the moment, and enjoy the
Experience.
experience.
Yes. Well,
I've
we're
enjoyed
very
the
grateful to you, Mr. Producer.
Yes, we are. I have enjoyed the experience, and I've gained so much experience through this experience.
Oh,
Yes.
look at I see what you did there. That was clever.
Yes.
That was
Oh,
clever.
y'all are adorable. Yeah. Oh, I love, yeah. Now I'm all feeling mushy gushy. But yeah, just if you would have told us we'd learn everything we now know, including Ricardo, who is Mr. IT Tech, who is, I bet you thought you were an expert in certain things. And we weren't. We weren't. And that's been just really fun. And honestly, that's my favorite part is stumbling, and the next week we were better. The next week we were better,
And
so.
stumbling is part of the
Experience.
experience.
Yeah, it's definitely. I feel like that needs to be a button we press. Experience.
Yes.
So what comes up with you guys for the word experience?
Oh, so Susan brought up a great point that right as soon as you said it, experience is the best teacher. And it was something her mother used to tell her, I believe. And that was a quick one. The bigger one for me was looking at why you're putting a negative or positive meaning on an experience. That might be making you repeat it and repeat it and repeat it when you could just learn the lesson and move on. So that one was a deep one for me this morning.
I heard last week or the week before that I'm trying to think how it went. Our biggest blessing is our hardest experience or lesson. And that is so true for me. It kind of goes into what you said, Susan brought up this morning. But to me, the most growth I've received was through my hardest experiences. And so I'm grateful for those experiences. And it also helps whenever I'm going through something that's hard, because I know now something great's going to be on the other side of it. And so it really helps to walk through a difficult experience when you're looking for, what can I learn from this? What am I supposed to gain from this?
Mm-hmm. It doesn't necessarily make it easy, but it eases the process a lot more, because you just aren't stumbling on the woe is me type suffering feelings. You just experience it, learn it, and then hopefully never have to repeat it. But
Hopefully.
it's the greatest lesson.
It is a lesson. So Jesse wrote X. So I'm not sure if it was a typo or what, but usually X means that you had it, right? It wasn't. So what is experience a word?
That's a great question.
I'll look it up.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's like watch it be like an old English word.
Welcome to live TV, guys. We could have talked about this before, like how, but the minute that Jesse typed X, I'm like, wait a second, it does have X.
That's a great point. Yeah.
Which means usually to negate, to expire, right?
To be moving away from.
To be moving away from. So what experience are you guys having this week? What experience are you looking forward to? Go ahead, Michelle.
Perience. It is a word.
What?
And it is. And it means the process of doing and seeing things and of having things happen to you. Skill or knowledge that you get by doing something. The length of time that you have spent doing something.
Wow.
I feel like that just summarized, like, I don't know, whenever you learn for the first time that it's not what happens to you, it's a meaning you gave it and have repeated over time, that means if it's a good or bad thing. I feel like that just summed that up. Wow.
Yes.
That's fascinating.
That was good.
Yeah.
Learn something.
We really did. And I'm just over here like,
let's use experience in a sentence today. That's our goal. Yeah. Interesting.
That's good. That's good. Let's see here. John Nelson says Tony Robbins teaches greatest failures equals greatest opportunities, experiences. That is
Yes.
true.
sir.
Yep.
Mr. Mike Holmes says experience equals positive learning as you age.
That's good.
Wow.
I love how
that.
specific that is. Yeah.
Yes.
That is
Yeah.
very specific. Let's read that again.
Wisdom.
Experience equals positive learning as you age, which is, like you said,
That's so
Michelle,
good.
wisdom.
Wisdom.
Mhm.
Yes, that's so good.
Wisdom comes from experience. There's no other way to gain wisdom. You have to have
Yeah.
life experiences in order to gain wisdom.
I think it was, I think my great grandfather or somebody, but this was a quote that went through. But knowledge is what you learn from other people, wisdom is what you experience yourself.
Yes.
Something like that. Yeah, I'll have to double check
Mhm.
that. But yeah, that just came back to me.
So to everyone listening out there, are experiences mostly positive or negative? Can they be a little bit of both?
I think that positive can come out of every experience, whether it's a positive or negative experience.
Boom.
Yes.
Margot
Right.
says, count them all blessings. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, count them all blessings.
hmm
That's powerful because they're all a blessing in disguise, even.
And
Yeah.
Jesse, did you share Jesse's experience gives you confidence because you feel more comfortable with the unknown due to that experience? That is so very true.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ooh, that's
Especially
true.
for women.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
the moment that you experience it, it's no longer the unknown.
Mm-hmm.
right.
It is then the known. The
It's
first
no
time
longer
you,
the saber-toothed tiger.
the first time you experience it is the unknown, but then it becomes the known. Experiences are what you make them.
Yes. Perspective.
Perspective.
We talked about that this morning.
Yeah.
So can we be intentional about having an experience? Is that something we can be intentional about?
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. We can create our experiences and we can, just like Stacy talked about on Friday, we can create happiness using our brains. So we can create experiences and manifest the life that we want if we will focus on the, creating the experiences, creating the feelings and the emotions that drive our behavior to create the life that we want.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean,
I've
that's,
experienced that.
yeah. Abraham Hicks talks a lot about that. And it's, that kind of meet in the middle in the woo-woo world, but like be in the vortex. So Abraham Hicks teachings are about don't get caught up on this side or this side, not even the positive side, but stay in the vortex, stay in what you can control. And what you can control is, your awareness, your alignment, does this make me feel good? Does this make me feel bad? And adjusting it accordingly instead of taking it, swallowing it whole and taking it personal for the next 10 years, which is what we often do by default. So the power of just being in the moment is so much deeper than we think, but that's also where the power is to create experiences, to change experiences. Thank you, Michelle. Be where your feet are. I was going to throw it back to you for that, just because I know I've learned a lot about you from that.
Be where your feet are.
Yeah.
Yes.
Then how can you turn one of these and a less than ideal experience into a positive experience?
I think by looking at what am I supposed to gain from this?
Yeah.
If you have your eyes and ears open for that and you're looking for that, it's almost, you can turn a negative experience into an adventure by just being like, looking for it. Look, what am I supposed to get out of this? What am I supposed to gain from this? What am I supposed to do with this moving forward?
And life is happening for us, not to us.
Yes.
Yeah. And also looking like we fall into patterns. And so when you are following a pattern you don't want, or old one creeps back in, you need to break down kind of what needs are you meeting? Okay. We're Tony Robbins fans. So what of his 6 human needs, he says there are positive, negative, and neutral ways to meet all of those. And honestly, it's what runs our entire life. So there are multiple needs you're meeting in a negative way if you're following this certain path and it's not making you feel good. So just breaking that down and knowing it is a formula. It is like Stacy taught us about on Friday. It is a chemical soup that you're creating in your brain, whether it's negative or positive. And we just forget we're in control of that. So the power in just taking a deep breath and bringing your awareness back to the experience you're having now, feel the feelings and move on, let it go or grow from it, and channel the gratitude in the moment. It's not always easy to be like, oh, thank you for this happening to me. But the quicker you can get back to gratitude, the quicker you can find something in the moment to be grateful about, will carry you through a lot quicker. Kind of put the
Boom.
accelerator on it.
And
Yes.
Jesse says, just to piggyback on that, rewiring the experience and look how that experience can make you better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How can you grow from those experiences? How can you get better? What can you learn?
So
What
something I
skill can
heard
you adapt?
the other day said, learn the lesson so you don't need that lesson anymore. And that's so great because sometimes we have to go through a bad experience after bad experience after bad experience before we finally learn the lesson. And if we'll just learn the lesson, then we can get rid of all those other bad experiences and move on. And we don't need that lesson anymore.
Correct.
Yeah. And I get caught up in the whole, I posted a funny meme that it's like the one from Leonardo, I don't know, Leonardo DiCaprio has a lot of funny memes, but anyway, that, being like, oh, I'm done with hitting rock bottoms. And then he's sitting there laughing like, no. And so it's like an onion, that's kind of how I think of it is it's like I don't know, eventually you'll reach like a bigger core issue where you see how everything is connected, or you'll reach, a new skill that you learned over here 10 years ago that you're like, oh, I can do it like this and whatever, be more authentically you going after your goal. But I mean, there's different ways that just, I don't know, embrace who you are in the experience is what I'm trying to say, I guess, is because that's always looking back where the power is. And you've never heard anyone be like, oh, I wish I wasn't more me all those years. You hear the opposite of, I wish I would have learned that sooner. So
Yes.
just take that power card and create the next experience.
My big thing with experience is we seem to dwell on the negative experiences and kind of forget about the positive ones.
Yes.
We either dwell on them for a long period of time, or we do our best to try to bury and cover up those feelings as soon as possible. There's never that. We don't really flirt or play around with that middle section of, okay, I'm having a negative experience. This is not ideal, obviously. But what's wrong with sitting in it? What's wrong with me allowing myself to sit in these emotions, in these feelings, listen to the feedback that I'm getting from whatever generated these emotions, these feelings, and this experience, and deal with it.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to hide from it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You've taught me a lot about that in that arena over the years. And I do want to add, because Stacey Dinsford on Friday suggested starting a trigger journal. And I did that, guys. And I'm 2 days in. And I don't know, there's a power in Lori Beth, one of my best friends, once told me it's like a ping pong ball. Like you're so worried about remembering whatever it is, your anxious thought, it's like a ping pong ball. But as soon as you can get it out on paper, it's there. So you feel safe to let it go. And anyway, so I don't know if that was a feeling where it's like, oh, I can release that feeling and not feel that bad feeling as long. It was powerful for me, but I really encourage you guys to do it so y'all can see how it feels for you guys. But whether that's traffic or a big feeling, just it's all been the same theme for me that it keeps linking back to. So I guess that's a lesson I want to give you guys and encourage you to start one yourself.
So you're going through an experience with the trigger journal.
Yes, I am.
And learning from it.
Yeah.
So Ricardo, you talked about sitting or focusing on the negative experiences that we've had, focusing on the past, living in the past. One of the things that we do is we relive bad experiences over and over and over. And it's silly. It's like, if you didn't want to live through that experience in the first place, why do we keep replaying it in our brain and live the bad experience over and over and over when we could just, like Courtney always says, let it go?
And your body doesn't know the difference.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like you're literally living through it again and again
Correct.
and again.
As well, they have done many studies that show you never remember it quite the same. So your subconscious wants to make you right. Your brain wants to make you right. So by default, you're remembering things stronger than they were, worse than they were. Da, 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 da. So
Yes.
it doesn't create good chemical soup in your body.
Michelle?
Okay, I'm reading my dad's comment. After 2 tours in Vietnam, I learned that 2 negatives can make a positive that radically changed my life in a very, very positive way. Relationship with Christ, 50 years with the most wonderful wife on the planet, my mom, 3 incredible children, starting with Michelle, and 7 fantastic grandchildren. Yes, 2 negative experiences during Vietnam led to an amazing life for my dad.
Wow.
That's powerful. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a whole novel there. But
There's really nothing to add on to that. Like, what else can you really say about that one? That was
Yeah.
powerful. Thank you,
Yes.
Mr. Mike.
And just shows that, like, you can always figure it out. I guess, was it Marie Forleo? I haven't read the book, but everything is figure outable. You know, it's doable. It's just we psych ourselves out in these ways that it's just repetition. It's really just repetition of feelings over time of bad experiences. And you're creating that in the moment. So it's just
Jesse says, let's just say bye now. Ed with his comment.
Yeah.
But you know, we're talking about, we talked about earlier, experience leads to wisdom. That was wisdom.
yeah.
It was.
That
My
was,
dad is a very wise man too. He's like he's the one I go to bounce ideas off of, and he and ask for advice because he's gained a lot of wisdom over the years.
it's obvious
Mm-hmm.
that he's very wise. He's the sage, right?
Yeah.
Is that what it is? That's the sage, right? The wise one, the elder wise one. Not that saying that
Yeah.
you're old or anything. I'm just saying the elder wise one, right? But there's
Yeah.
something comforting in that.
Yeah.
There's something comforting in knowing that someone that had an experience and learned from it, gained some wisdom, and is not being stingy and holding it all to themselves, but
Yeah.
is open enough to share it to the world and let people learn from their experience.
That's the
Mhm.
value of our experiences, is being able to share what we learned, because like Tony Robbins talks about speeding up the learning process. Like you can turn decades into days by
Correct.
learning from someone else's experience. Don't go through the hardships, don't go through the struggles and the learning the lessons that when other people have already learned them. So just find a mentor, find a coach, find a guide to help you learn it faster, so you don't have to take 10, you know what took someone else 10 years to learn.
There's
Mhm.
two parts to that, because not only do they have experience in areas that you don't have, they're able to see things from a different point of view, from a different
Yes.
pair of eyes, from a different brain,
Yes.
from different
Yeah.
experiences, which gives them a different perspective, a fresh perspective to catch things that you may not be able to catch yourself.
Yes.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Ooh,
tremendous power.
so
It's a
much
good
power
word.
in experience.
Yes.
So
It
much power.
Such
All
a good
right.
word.
Let's do our drawing right quick. Okay.
Yes.
So here's what I did. I threw everyone who shared our video and our podcast with the hashtag Force for Growth was entered into a drawing to win, Courtney.
Yes. Okay. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, or The Medical Medium's Cleanse to Heal, which is an amazing book as well.
Jesse
So,
was
you get
asking me the other day. She's like, "Why don't you ever hold up the medical medium book?" I'm like, "Because it's heavy.
I never
It's-
asked because I knew the answer.
It's heavy."
I talk fast and it's heavy. So by the time he gets it
Yeah,
up,
by the
I'm
time
done.
I like pick it up, man, that just did not make me look good, did it?
Oh no, you do a great job, Dana White. You do
So if I put it
wonderful.
if I put it to my right side, it would be easier because I'm right-handed.
That is true. That is true. I've never factored in.
Okay, so we threw
Moving on.
every share got you an entry. We threw everyone's share into a randomizer, shuffled the list 6 times. I don't know why 6, but that's just the number that came up 6 times, and we have a winner. And the winner is, drum roll, please.
Drum roll.
I can't do it. But anyway, we'll try.
Good try.
Yeah.
Kristen
Yay!
Duncan.
Perfect,
Kristen. Kristen's been awesome at sharing our podcast. She's shared it many times, so she
Yes.
got lots of entries. So
Thank
thank
you,
you, Kristen, for your
Thank you,
support and for
Kristen.
sharing.
Yeah,
Yay.
Kristen had the most interest. She got 5 entries, and then behind her was Miguel Angel Romero. Big shout
you,
out,
Miguel.
Miguel Angel
Yes.
Romero.
Thank you.
And yeah, we had a lot of shares, guys. So remember to like and share for a chance to win. I'm looking
Yes.
at my closet right now. I'm going to go in there later today or tomorrow, and Wednesday we're going to announce a new prize. But
I'm excited to hear what it is.
if you're just open to win whatever it is that we're going to talk about on Wednesday, just go ahead and like and share this video with the hashtag Force for Growth, and you'll be entered to win.
Yes.
Each share is an entry. So there you go.
And you
Yes.
get 3 chances to share every week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Boom. That's a lot of chances to win.
That is.
That's a
I'm
lot
going to
of
give
chances
away
to
some
win.
good stuff.
And I have an idea of something. The thing that we're going to pull out on the next one's going to have a value of over $100.
Wow.
Ooh.
I know.
Like and share.
I love that. Well, we
Oh.
appreciate the support, everybody, and thank you
Yes.
so much. Yeah.
Thank you so much for tuning in.
Yes.
And remember to visit forceforgrowth.com to like and subscribe to the audio version of this podcast. And we'll be back.
Did you
on
have
Wednesday.
an announcement for baskets?
Oh,
Thank you, Michelle.
Go ahead,
Okay,
Courtney.
so I wanted to point out, did you know that you can donate to your favorite charity? Amazon has some pretty cool features. Amazon Smile is what I'm trying to remember to say. So smile.amazon.com. And I believe Ricardo might be pulling that up right now. But if you go on and pick your favorite charity or foundation, a portion of every Amazon purchase goes towards them. And so if you can remember, instead of typing in amazon.com, or if you have it bookmarked, to save smile.amazon.com and pick the GX3, like G for George, X, and then 3. So what does that originally stand for, Ricardo? I don't remember.
good growth, greatness.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes. And so the GX3 Foundation, and then foundation is spelled out, and a portion of all your Amazon purchases will go to help our cause, Baskets for Good, which is coming up on November 21st, 2020. We're about a month and a half, a little less than a month and a half out, and we're getting there. So if you would be kind enough to just do that, that would help us out. And if you don't have a cause you support, and you can go on and research if they're on smile.amazon.com and pick them. So just make sure you're doing all you can with your dollar.
Thank you, Courtney. And I'll have a link with an image on basketsforgood.org, so you can always go there and link directly to our organization.
Yes.
And that's basketsforgood.org.
Yes. Thank you, guys.
Man, we are getting good. Wow.
Through
Oh, you're getting
experience.
more excited as we go along. Definitely.
We are
but
getting,
I love
repeat that again, Michelle?
We're getting good through experience.
And I don't know why I'm putting my hand on my ear to amplify that, because I am wearing a headset. But
John said can't help but give a shout out to Dak.
oh my goodness.
Oh,
I
yes.
know. That was a bad experience that I hope that he uses for good.
Yes. He's going to come out
Yes.
stronger on the other side. Whatever
Yeah.
happens, he's going to end
Yeah.
up coming out stronger.
Yeah.
Whew. Great
Yes.
episode, guys.
Yes.
Yeah,
Thank you so much for tuning in and being part of the Force for Growth experience.
Yes.
Yes.
And we'll be back on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Bye.
guys.
Bye, guys.